couple of misses in the prone position, mistakes that he can ill afford, but it's the French with Alexis Boeuf who looks in remarkably good condition, Mike. That's I've not seen him ski so relaxed in a long time.
From when Boeuf set off on the handover, he just went like mad. In fact, I think he might be backing off a little this lap. He shot so well under that extreme pressure to take 17 seconds out of Schipulin and then go 5 out of 5. He's a man on form.
Well, he's certainly that as they come down into the stadium for shoot number 2 on this third leg. And what a crucial shoot this is going to be, because of course we have Martin Fourcade, Emil Hegler Svensson and Dmitry Malishko all lined up. If one of these men can get a break of some 20-25 seconds, it really will be a massive advantage for their man on the final leg.
Without a doubt. Schipulin doesn't know whether to go left, whether to go right. In fact, he's stumbling around. His skis are running faster at the moment than Boeuf. In fact, there he is, Schipulin. He did well though to pull back his 13 seconds, so he's done the same as Boeuf did last time. He was so angry that he had to use his 3 spare rounds. Well,
the chances are he's going to have to use a couple more on his final shoot, unless he just eases up. I think Bo is playing into the hands of the Russians here by not pushing the pace too hard at the front. He wants to be able to hit the targets. Now, what would your tactics be here, Mike? If you take the risk, not only do you lose the risk of losing touch with the leading 2, but the teams behind, the Czech Republic, are very close. The Poles are still there, having written them off at halfway. They're still there. Slovenia, Italy, Belarus, all in the background. This could still go to teams outside those leading 3.
It certainly can. And what's happening at the front is that Terje Boe is leading the pace, but he's not. I don't know whether he's not on form, but the pace at the front is not as strong as it was last time round. It's allowing the Slovenian team, Bauer, to get back into it. Even the Belarus team, Rafael Perez training methods are paying off eventually this season. They're in 8th place at the moment.
Well, the only man in this leading group of 3 who hasn't put in a burst of speed and a sustained burst at that to close down a gap is Terje Boe. Maybe he has been taking it easy. The fans certainly like to see him coming into the stadium first. Lots of Norwegians here, not as many Germans as normal. A little bit too far to travel here daily from Munich.
Well, the cheer, the 17,000 roaring outside is because Sukup has almost hauled back the leading. There he is, the leading 3. It must be down to what, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. He is amazing after that injury.
Yeah, astonishing comeback from him. If he clears these 5 targets, I think they may have a statue of him outside this stadium should they come through to claim a medal tonight. But a long way to go. Anderson just putting instructions out onto the course. He'll be letting all the other Norwegian coaches know exactly what is going on, and the first bit of information he'll pass on is that Terje Boe has taken lane number 1 for his second and final shoot in this third leg of the relay.
Boeuf is gasping for air there.
Boeuf, the only man to have cleared 5 with 5. Terje Boe is flying through the targets, 5 out of 5, and he's even quicker than Tore Berger. Sensational shooting from Terje Boe. He's got rid of the French for now, but not the Russians, because Anton Schipulin has knocked all 5 down as well. But Schipulin's had to do hard work to get back in touch with Norway and France, so maybe we'll see him suffer on the last lap. Now, this is a key shot for Sukup. Down it goes, down it goes. Great shooting under the most pressure that he will have felt at any stage in his career. The Italians, Mike, have done brilliantly well. Vera Oberhofer took the first 2 legs. Dominic Vindisch now on the third leg for the Italians. Don't forget, the Italians won a relay last year in Oberhof, I believe it was, in dreadful conditions, but they have won relays, so don't write them out from taking a medal of some sort tonight.
Well done, Lowell Bailey. That's a 5 out of 5 under extreme pressure. Clement Bauer only using 2 spare rounds. He's got them all.
Extraordinary for Clement Bauer. And with Jakub Fak, a man who's already won World Cups this season, on the final leg, the Slovenians could get a taste of the medals on the first night of these Biathlon World Championships. The Swiss are going well, all the teams so close. It was Mickey Grice before the start of the race, Mike. He said one of the great things now is that because all the teams are taking this seriously, it's such a hard race to predict. There are so many different teams that could win it.
And that is the case. chance, and I still feel for Germany. I think they are going to pull some positions back. Well, Schemp, that was wonderful. And of course, with Bernbacher going last, you wouldn't expect him to miss any rounds.
Yeah, and if you were to predict, without looking at the score sheet, which team would have the best shooting record at this stage?
I would have initially gone for the Russian team.
You certainly wouldn't have gone for Italy.
Absolutely not.
Three misses, only 3 misses for the Italians so far. Great shooting from them. And the Slovenians have only missed 3 as well. So brilliant shooting.
Well, the Slovenian 5 now.
Actually 5, because he missed. Clement missed another 2, but all the targets went down. Here we go with Terje Bo. That burst has been applied, and he started to open up a gap over the Russians, and Anton Shapulin's going to have to dig deep.
You just sense, though, that I certainly feel that Shapulin, well, in fact, Shapulin looks like a man spent, but he's going to try and close this gap. Well, the gap was 3.7, it's 4.5, so Shapulin dropping off.
Alexei Boeuf looks to be struggling a little as well, Mike. He came out ahead of the Czech Republic, but Sukup has pushed, and he's now paying the price for that incredibly quick burst over the first 1,500 metres.
He's lost 10 seconds, Patrick, from the range to this point, and that is payback from that horrific pace, leg 1.
So, what does Martin Fourcade do on the last lap? Does he do the same and risk it, or does he? Is he a bit more patient?
I think he has to try and do the same, but he's got Svensson, and knowing that Fourcade is going to be pushing the pace, I don't think he's going to close it by much.
Well,
great day for Poland. Sorry, that's one of the best performances in the mixed relay we've seen from Poland.
Yeah, I think it's the best performance we've seen from a number of teams, and to still have 6, 7, 8 teams within a minute of the leaders Norway is extraordinary at this stage of the relay. Just 7.5 lap to go once Terje Bo gets into the stadium. The corners are getting... There's a little bit of ice underneath. The artificial snow has a higher water content, and so when it's been compressed, it's that little bit icier. But the newer snow on top, once that's pushed away, those corners get quite treacherous.
And he made it look very difficult there, but he's completely got rid of Shapulin. I wonder, has Shapulin fallen? He was 3.9 seconds, and he's not in sight. He must have fallen off camera shot. Because you can see this, as you mentioned, this granular machine-made snow. It's difficult. It takes you by surprise.
Yeah.
On the corners.
So you slip on the ice, and then you hit the softer, granular parts, and you slow almost instantly. So a fresh pair of legs helps to negotiate some of the turns here in Nove Mesto at this stage of the race. Everyone's legs are hurting, pumped full of lactate acid. Here comes Shapulin. No sign of the Norwegians ahead of him. That will be a little bit depressing for Dmitry Malishko, who takes the final leg for Russia. And good news for Emil Hegler Svensson. But this is far from over. I'm just going to be fascinated to see how the French play this. I don't have any doubt, Mike, that Martin Fourcade, if he chooses to do so, can close maybe 15-20 seconds on the race leaders in that first 2.5 Ks. But he may decide that is suicide.
I think it would be. We've seen that now with Boeuf. So Boeuf went so hard so soon, and there's Shapulin. Remember, he punched that hard middle lap for him when he pulled back, was it 11 seconds? And now Shapulin's having the payback, and poor old Boeuf, but he's got the heart of a lion.
Yeah, he's got a second wind, I think, unless maybe he took a stumble as well, and that's why he lost out to the Czech Republic. But he's gone past the Czechs, and a couple of teams being lapped. Don't be too concerned about them. They will continue to race at this stage. The British, bad news for them, they've been on the penalty loop more than once, I'm afraid, 3 times.
I think that was Adele, sadly, because Amanda shot clear, and then we saw the 3 penalty loops. It was Adele in the pro and the stand. What a pity for the British team. Love to see them go clear.
So Norway head out onto the last leg in search of defending their gold medal from Ruhpolding 12 months ago. Russia just 12.2 seconds behind, and the French, with the world number 1 on the final leg, have got a margin of 29, 30, 31. It won't be much more than that, and away goes Martin Fourcade, 31 seconds. He will see that as a challenge, but perhaps not a challenge that he'll relish at this stage of the championships. The Czech Republic still on for a medal should any of the leaders make mistakes. 41 seconds behind, but they've got to fight off the Italians, and of course the Slovenians aren't far behind. The Americans have done well so far. So glory days for the Czech team aren't quite here yet. They've got another 20 minutes or so to go before we find out whether they can claim a medal on the first night of their World Championships. And Mike, with the investment and the effort that they've put in, I think they deserve something like that.
I would love to see a medal, and Moravec went past the range like lightning. I hope he hasn't gone too hard too soon. Then they go around the outside edge of the penalty loop.
Norway, Russia, France, the top three. So 1 kilometre of 7.5 completed, just a 6,500 metres to go for Emil Hegler Svensson. The margin for Russia was 12.3 when they came out of the stadium. Has Malishko managed to do anything in the opening stages? No, he's gone the other way, but only by a fraction of a second. 31 seconds was the margin between Norway and France, and certainly there is movement there with Martin Fourcade already taking some 6 seconds out of the Norwegian. That's a pretty stiff pace he's setting. And now the fight for the minor placings. The Czech Republic, the Italians are all in there.
This is the day of Andrei Moravec's life. He's had pressure in the past, we've seen it, but there's going to be no pressure like today. Every time they see him on the screen, 17,000 people screaming below us.
Yeah, the first ever Biathlon World Championships to be held in the Czech Republic. They've wanted it for so long. Finally they got their wish, and it would be sensational. What a fairy tale it would be. But even if they get a top 5, Mike, you have to appreciate that is a fantastic result.
It is. At the moment, riding in 4th position, just, well, somewhat 10-12 seconds behind France. Fourcade has gone off, as I think you said. He'd go off very fast. And if anyone can survive that pace change or that aggressive style of racing, going over your comfort zone, then surely Martin Fourcade is the man who can handle it.
Now, if the wind were to pick up, and there is certainly evidence that a breeze is developing from left to right, judging by the flags just in front of our commentary boxes, that might suit the local team, the Czechs, and might force a mistake from the leading 3. But then again, they could force mistakes from each other as the pressure builds, and if it's going to come, it will come on the very final shoot of this race. Who has those nerves of steel?
Just looking at the times, Moravec has actually pulled 2 seconds off Svensson. Of course, Martin Fourcade has pulled 9 seconds off. I think it was 9 seconds off Svensson since the changeover. So Svensson may be playing the clever game, just keeping it steady first time before the prone shoot.
Well, that's exactly what Terje Bo did, and look how valuable that was. Just a steady pace all the way round. He saved something for the last lap. He didn't even push the accelerator until he was at least a third of the way round that last lap. And that is how to produce the quickest times. Team number 25 already lapped maybe twice, perhaps. That's Latvia with Edgar Pixons heading back towards the stadium. 14.7. It's growing, but very slowly. On the other hand, Martin Fourcade is making